It's all American, it's rally red, and it's up next. The Trans Am Road Racing Series was a big deal in the late 1960s, with enough popularity to push the automakers into building special versions of production cars to be allowed to play on the racetrack. In drag racing, we saw factory-built lightweight cars sold to racers, but never was there quite a requirement by a racing organization to sell a certain number of similar cars to the public like we see in Trans Am. NASCAR stock car homologation rules originally stated that race cars had to be made from stock parts, but Trans Am dictated that a street version of the race car be made available to the public, which is how we ended up with such cool cars like the 1970 AAR Cuda. On July 10, 1970, this car left the Town Chrysler Plymouth dealer in Minneapolis, going home with its first owner, hopefully in a blaze of tire smoke. You know, today you could spend years trying to find a car like this. It must have been pretty awesome back then to just stroll down to your Chrysler dealer and take your pick of one off the lot. This car is kind of a double whammy of cool. It's not only a streetified Trans Am car, but it wears the markings of Dan Gurney's All-American Racers, hence the AAR designation. As you can imagine, the AAR team ran a Cuda in Trans Am, so Plymouth capitalized on the team's popularity and named the street version the AAR. While the race cars were far from street legal, the production AAR Cudas came with a bunch of cool tricks on board to make them hot performers in all departments: acceleration, handling, and looks. For some, it just doesn't get any better than this. A rally red 70 AAR Cuda, 346 barrel engine, that insane black strobe stripe, high performance suspension, all in a complete numbers matching package. I mean, it's kind of like the muscle car equivalent of a mic drop. The Cuda was new for 1970, and the AAR version had to meet the specs of the Trans Am rules, so it received a 340 cube V8 with 6-barrel induction. Trans Am rules only allowed for a 305 V8 or smaller, but since Plymouth didn't have a 305, they allowed the 340 on the street. A D-stroked 340 became the 305 for racing, so the bones are similar. These made an advertised 290 horsepower at 5,000 RPM and 345 pound-feet of torque at 3,400, enough to push the AAR to 60 miles an hour in under 6 seconds and 14 30-second quarter miles at around 96 miles an hour. They came with automatic 3-speeds or 4-speed manual transmissions and were geared for quick acceleration with 3 55-to-1s in the 8 3/4-inch rear end with 11-inch rear brake drums. Big front brakes also required the 15-inch rally wheels, which were painted argent silver with a polished trim ring. AAR cars had staggered tire sizes, giving them a lower profile front tire rake, adding to the cornerability and the aggressive appearance of these cars. Side exit exhaust tips were cool and were made to look like open exhaust to the race cars, but they had big mufflers behind them. AAR front suspension used oversized torsion bars to keep the car flatter in the turns. A steering cooler and oversized radiator helped keep the lids on the pots, and a clutch fan freed up extra power. The AAR's interior was basic but functional, with high-backed bucket seats and a low center console with a short slapstick automatic shifter. The wood steering wheel is all business, and the wood grain dash is stuffed with rally gauges, including a 150-mile-an-hour speedometer, an 8-grand tach, a 4-place fuel, oil, temp, and ammeter gauge, and lo and behold, a working clock. Too cool. This one also has an AM 8-track Music Master radio with an adjustable rear speaker fader. Not really high-tech, even for 1970, but we'd rather hear the 340 anyhow. This is one of the coolest looking muscle cars ever made, with the blacked out fiberglass hood, black strobe stripe, side pipes, the cool wheels, rear wing, and obvious race car attitude. Not all of them had vinyl tops, but we dig the way this one looks with the black vinyl. From AAR to ZL1, you'll find them all here in the Brothers Collection. Thanks for watching this episode of Muscle Car of the Week. Be sure to click all the like and subscribe buttons so we can send you some muscle car awesomeness right to your inbox each week. And it's free shipping.